Deal Sports Show. We're talking sports of all sorts like we always do, and we're making sure that everything's happening, and make sure everything is going on right and making it happen on the Real Deal Sports Show. WLGZ HD2, The Beat 105.5. We've been on here almost a year. Next week will be 1 year as the Real Deal Sports Show. Man, the year has gone by so quickly. We always, as we do each week, we salute the Buffalo 10. Stay in power. Buffalo 10. Stay strong. They're going to have a conference coming up talking about with Jerika Duncan from CBS, Ben Crump, all-star lineup of people will be coming. Pick up this week's Challenger Community News to find out about the conference. The Truth, calling it the Truth Conference, coming up at Buff State campus to be held there in April and late April. Check out this week's April 6th Challenger Community News. Pick it up at most businesses in the community. Worldwide News, in Monroe Community Hospital. You name it, you can pick it up. Jamaican Soul Restaurant, hair salons throughout the community, churches, Memorial Amy Zion, Mount Olivet. They had a great week. Thank you to people from Buffalo that came down the Holy Week. Y'all came at 5 in the morning. Y'all came ready down there to hear those national guest speakers that Reverend Harvey had down there. They were in Challenger Community News. You people heard about it from the Challenger. Glad y'all came down to celebrate Holy Week over at Mount Olivet each morning this past week at 5 a.m. in the morning. And it was a great turnout as well. But we definitely, Challenger Community News, thechallengernews.com. This week is our lead sponsor, thechallengernews.com. Buffalo 10, we always dedicate the show to you. And remember, Challenger Community News, Western New York's largest weekly African-American newspaper, thechallengernews.com. 585-766-3590 for advertising. If you have articles, and send to editor at thechallengernews.com. Editor at thechallengernews.com for ads, for advertising, the whole 9 yards. As we keep it going, you can learn about who is Alvin Bragg is on the cover of this week's Challenger. Who is Alvin Bragg? You'll find out in this week's Challenger Community News. Of course, a lot of us just know he's prosecuting criminal indictment of the Orange Man, as we call him, the former president of the United States. He's going after him. But let's find out who Alvin Bragg is. Pick up this week's Challenger Community News to find out about him and find out more about what's going on in the community. The Brothers Keepers, the Rock Brothers Keepers first Youth Peace Summit event is all right there in Challenger Community News. And we have back from another day. Fanatic is back. How you doing, Fanatic?
What's going on? I'm like, Brad, man, it's been too long. You don't know how to share the mic with your boy, man. Hey, glad to be back with our family. The Real Deal Sports Show. It's the Fanatic coming to you live, traveling all over the country, all over the world, from Africa, Louisiana, West Coast, New York. Hey, glad to be back with you. I know we're going to talk about my Lady Tigers. Hey, watch out, gymnastics, baseball. We looking at championship season for us right now. We got to talk Bayou Barbie. Got to talk about the squad, Flo J. Hey, Kim Mulkey, that's coming up here. But I know we're going to go ahead and make sure we kick it off talking about the Masters. We know that's going on right now. Golf is big. And so it's glad to be back. Glad to be with you. Appreciate everybody for holding it down. But I know we got an interview coming up talking about the PGA. Right, Radman?
Yes, the PGA Championship. Since the Masters is well underway, trying to finish second round with all those trees falling down all over around people, trying to stay safe out there.
Well, hey, Radman, you know the South is we different in the South, man. We got trees falling down left and right in Augusta, Georgia. It's a wild place living in the South. But go ahead, you right.
It absolutely is. And unfortunately, the same thing happened up at Oak Hill. The trees were damaged by a Lyme disease back of several years ago. And a lot of those trees are gone. A lot of those limbs are gone from when the PGA Championship was here in 2013. The PGA Tournament, PGA Championship returns to Oak Hill Country Club next month, May 15th through May 21st. We'll be there. We're going to be there broadcasting live from there on Saturday morning, most hopefully, on that May 20th. Saturday, May 20th, I'll be out there live at Oak Hill Country Club broadcasting to you live from the PGA Championship. But I was out there last month talking to Kerry Yu, who works for PGA of America. He's the groundskeeper. He makes sure the course is ready for the professionals, for the pros. When they get here, Kerry wants to make sure that course is up to par. And we have Tiger Ty in studio. Tiger Ty, if you could put on Kerry Yu from the PGA. Let's hear what he has to say about the tournament coming to Oak Hill Country Club. Let's see. He's putting that on now. That interview's coming up with Kerry Yu. I see we're getting that in, but Kerry Yu will be on shortly. It was an interesting interview I had with him a few weeks ago regarding the PGA Championship. Because we don't hear it. He says playing, but we don't seem to hear it right now.
That hasn't gone away.
There we go.
Players now, if they hit it in the rough, they may have a shot. It's still going to be an extremely difficult shot because, as we know, the rough here at Oak Hill in May is likely to be pretty tough.
Stop dominating.
You can't control the weather, but certainly we've got. He did what was necessary in the fall to get us ready to have our best opportunity coming into May. So we need, a warm spring, which we've said from day one. So hopefully the trees will leaf and what have you. But no, I couldn't be more excited. Every time I walk around here, and especially with the changes, it is even more exciting. And I can't wait for the championship to start and the best players in the world to come and be challenged by, sort of the new Oak Hill. It's going to be great.
Do you think if it's raining, if you get a rainy weekend, and you do in Rochester get a lot of rainy Mays, do you think that will be a problem or a serious challenge for the golfers?
Yeah, the rain actually probably makes the golf course play easier. So if you do get rain, as we did the last PGA Championship there, the scoring was pretty good because the greens were receptive. And the fairways were pretty soft, so the balls wouldn't run out into the rough as much as they may do if it's firmer. Now, May, we're not likely to be firm and fast, but hopefully we don't get too much rain so that, it plays as we want it to play. But weather's always a factor, and, the other chance in May is that we probably would get more wind than we used to in August. And certainly wind is a great equalizer for all golfers. And, if you get a 15, 20 mile an hour wind around here, it will be a great test.
Or you say you need
Exactly. And that was Kerry Hay from the PGA golf tournament, from the PGA Golfers of Association. He's in charge of the courses. He goes out well in advance, almost a year in advance, to start working on the various courses for the upcoming championship. And he's assigned to the PGA Championship, which is now moved. Usually it's in August. Usually last time I was here in 2013, it was in August. Last year it was in August. This is the first year they're moving it because they were conflicting with the Olympics and some other, and football getting started and things in August. It was some other events. So they want to have a PGA Championship each month. The month of April, now you have the Masters. Now in May, you're going to have the PGA Championship move from August to May. Then you're going to have the one in June. And then you have in July also the British Open, the U.S. Open around that time. I think the U.S. Open is in June, July. You have and then in August, they'll get into the Players' Championship and all of that. But the majors will be once a month. And they moved. They wanted to get out of the month of August because of the Olympics, and also football getting started was a little bit taken away from their draw. So he's in town. That Lyme disease that hit those trees, it looked totally. I hadn't been out there. I didn't realize that I hadn't been out there since 2013 on the actual golf course. I've been there for meetings and things inside Oak Hill and things of that nature, for conferences and things like that. But on the course, it looks totally different. I mean, you could just see, now you can see right down the straightaway, Fanatic. Before you couldn't see it because those hanging trees, all those trees are cut back. The limbs are gone. So a lot of trees are gone. I mean, it's a totally different Oak Hill Country Club from 2013. And also, I was there in 1997 for the Riders' Cup as well. So, man, he reminded me, he said, didn't I meet you back? I said, oh, yeah, he reminded me that I met him back in 2013 out there. It's funny how the years go by, and I said, wow, Kerry, I didn't even know I knew you already. So I had already met you. So it was good seeing him again. And but next week we'll have part 2 of the conversation talking about Oak Hill Country Club, getting ready for the PGA Championship May 15th through May 21st. So get ready.
Interesting. Yeah, that's going to be interesting, Rabbit. Based on what you saw, I know you play a little golf. What do you see? Like, how do you think compared to how it used to be to where it is now with it wide open, does that mean you think people are going to go lower based on the adjustment that you've seen? How do you think that'll play out?
Lower scores, yeah. I think it's going to be an easier course than it was in the past, because now you can actually see the hole. Before, you couldn't even see where you had to know where you were where you were teeing off at and where you were sending that ball, especially in the middle of the fairways. The fairways look nice. It looks nice. You're starting to, the grass is coming up. As you can see, it's well maintained as always, and they're gonna keep that course in line. Like he said, if it rains, hey, the golfers gonna have a field day on the course. I think this go around than back in 13. I think this, with the trees being gone the way they are, it was shocking to see so many trees gone from Oak Hill Country Club. And I don't remember people locally even mentioning that it was Lyme disease or something happened and caused so many trees to have to be cut down.
So, yeah, no, but I guess realistically, would we have known if the championship wasn't coming around? I feel like the only reason why people probably knew now is because the championship was coming now. So that's probably why it wasn't said, unless there's something else that was going on. Yeah,
especially, well, I guess if you pay that membership fee of $20,000 a year, you would know what's going on out there. But yeah, for those of us we're not paying that $20,000 a year to be members out there, definitely didn't know that this was happening. And you're right, because there wasn't a major local tournament being played out there or anything, we wouldn't have known that the trees have been diseased and have been cut down. Some trees have limbs. You can see where they cut limbs back on other trees and everything. But no, it's not the same Oak Hill Country Club at all. It's going to be in May. Usually in August, hot. It's early. The weather could be rough, bad. Look, high winds. I think we talked about the winds. Kerry talked about the winds. He said he's concerned about the wind being the most problem with the course. The wind, how much wind is going to be on that course for the upcoming tournament.
Okay, well, that's going to be interesting. And to me, I'm just so proud that Rochester still is getting a major, even in 2023. I'm sure they have many chances to go to bigger cities, more metropolitan cities. I'm glad that the Rock, the hometown, the 5A5, still gets a chance to host that major. It's going to be a beautiful time. May 16th in particular is going to be a beautiful day. Shout out to my mama for her birthday on that day. Rad, man, can't wait to see you out there live and in person, getting it in with Michael Collins, Tiger, Brooks Koepka, and the whole crew coming down to the Rock. Make sure you know to tell them where to go and eat and where to get some good after the course 19th hole type stuff.
That's right. We're going to definitely tell them about the location. They want some good soul food. I'm going to definitely direct them to that and get them some food. Magic wings, if they want those wings or tangies or some serious soul food cooking, where the Rad Man knows right where to send some of these golfers. And it looks like Tiger Woods may even be here next month as well. So we may get a chance to hear from Tiger Woods next month here in Rochester, New York.
That'd be dope. Hey, I want to make sure for everybody out there listening, keep hitting us with the likes. I know the Facebook page, we're getting that figured out and squared away. But I know the YouTube page still up, still ready for you. Make sure tell your friends to tell a friend to tell another friend. Like, comment, and subscribe to us on YouTube at Real Deal Sports Show. Hit the bell icon to receive the notifications. You can't miss that one on. Check us out on YouTube, Real Deal Sports Show. Make sure, of course, to check out the Rad Man himself, hitting up the Twitter. Follow the Rad Man at George Radman, GeorgeRadman as in Nancy. So check him out, the Rad Man on Twitter, Facebook. We're going to make sure we get that squared away. And, of course, you can check us out straight up on the website, Real Deal Sports Show. Still got some betting picks for you, even though we are out of the football season. But we know, Rad Man, football season will come up soon enough. And nowadays, you can almost bet on anything that you would like. So plenty of opportunity. And before we transition to my Lady Tigers, still, speaking of football, always want to make sure we keep giving love to our man, Damar Hamlin. Just because football season is over, still think about that traumatic incident on that Monday night on the field of Cincinnati. It's been amazing seeing him walking around and being a celeb for really, let's be real, coming back from the dead, man, right on the field. Thank you to all those folks who helped him out. They are the real heroes. And so, Damar Hamlin, we going to always shout you out and give you love, man. Keep getting well, Damar. Keep getting well.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Keep getting well, DeMar Hamlin. And they just came out with odds on him playing next season. Yeah, they got odds on DeMar Hamlin. They got odds, as you said, bet on everything. We're going to talk about that as we get closer to the draft. DeMar Hamlin playing next year. Where Lamar Jackson going to end up? They on everything, as you said, Fanatic. You couldn't have said it any better. They're betting on everything.
No, it's crazy. But hey, now it's my time. Hey, baby, I'm back. Let's go, Shay. Talk directly about my Bayou Barbie and the Lady Tigers. First of all, Angel Reese. We know the criticism that she got. Unwarranted. Yes, it might have been a little much with the "You Can't See Me," but just so everybody knows, she's been doing the ring finger. That's all this year has been about. But let's not forget. I know everybody hasn't been watching. Everybody just wanted to jump in there. I've been talking about our Lady Tigers. Let me tell y'all, Angel Reese really should have been the player of the year. Caitlin Clark, I'm okay with her getting it. But Angel Reese set an NCAA record. She's not just a great trash talker or like she likes to model or now one of the top NIL women all of college. She's an amazing player. She needs some help on some post moves, so we're going to work with her. But she's a great rebounder, great defender. She set the NCAA record for 34 double-doubles, which is a record in NCAA history. So the Bayou Barbie, shouting out. I'm glad she got to talk to Biden yesterday. She's been on national shows, First Take and Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max. But I want to go back to the championship game, scoring 102 points. It was a total team effort, and transfers that came in like Poe and Carson really killed it in the first half. Without them, the Bayou Barbie, the ref, we needed Jeff the ref in that game, Brad, man, because those refs were horrible. They were just calling everything. And let's remember, folks, that's what really gets the players agitated. When you are getting nickel and dime and tight on both sides, the rest, they think that they're going to try and control the game by calling everything. That's not good because that just makes everybody frustrated, and one little thing can blow up. So I think they added a little bit of that gasoline before the reason why things semi blew up. But the Lady Tigers really deserved it. The parade was on fire on Wednesday. President Tate came out. Man, it is an amazing opportunity. And if you want to know what a great coach looks like, that is Kim Mulkey, man. First woman coach with a chip at multiple schools. She won a championship at Baylor. Now at LSU. She's from Louisiana. Balled out, did her thing. I know most people don't know, but Louisiana Tech is up in Ruston, about 2 hours north of Baton Rouge. It is, man, the LSU women, we couldn't be more excited and more proud of them. And to me, if you think that race wasn't a part about why people didn't like what Angel Reese did, you're sleeping under a bridge somewhere. You're sleeping under a rock. You're clearly, your head is in the sand. It's clear. But I just want to say, when can we ever get like one white journalist to say, you know what, if all the black people are saying it might be a route race, maybe let me look internally. We're not saying all white people are racist. That's not what we're saying. I'm just wanting to ask the question of why isn't there any white journalists to say, maybe what black people are saying is real. Let me investigate maybe my own self, but my other white counterparts in the media. So that's just some food for thought that I thought about. And
who are you referring? You major, because I noticed I ain't even gonna mention that clown that used to be on ESPN that started cussing at the girls on. I wasn't shocked by him because his comments before they kicked him off of ESPN, he was getting way out of hand with some of his comments. He always would have something negative to say about black athletes on the air. And I'm glad they finally kicked him off. Keith Olbermann. I'm gonna say that clown's name. Keith Olbermann, you suck, man.
I thought you were talking about Jason Whitlock. I didn't know who you were talking about.
No, he wasn't even on ESPN. Please, Jason Whitlock, man. He's sick. That brother's sick, man. He's sick, man. There's something wrong with Jason Whitlock. We do a whole show on that sick brother another time, man, because, oh, my gosh, man. He done said so many negative things about his own people, man. That's sometimes when you just sick, man. And that's Jason Whitlock. He's sick, man. Up in his head, his spirit. He done let black culture done ruin him, man. He just listen to what white folks tell him and think white is all right and black folks always doing wrong. This when you hear Jason Whitlock, you know the man's sick before you listen to what they got to say. This precursor that man is sick and needs some help. So don't even. But Keith Olbermann, man, for you to come on there and talk about the girl like that, man, I wasn't surprised. But you should be saying the opposite. Why don't you cover the sport? They've been doing it the whole year, showing her ring, pointing at the ring finger every game. I've been watching women's basketball since the 80s. I remember when Kim Mulkey was a point guard for Louisiana Tech, and they had Teresa Edwards and Pam Kelly. I mean, she would get that. I remember one time some girl elbowed Kim Mulkey and knocked her to the ground. She got up. She got up swinging, man. She didn't say nothing. She let her fist do the talking in that game, man. The bench is empty. Oh, she got all in that girl, man, with uppercuts and all kinds.
That sounds like her. She's feisty,
man. Oh, Kim Mulkey was a fighter. She's been feisty. Her team plays the way she is. She personifies that. She's aggressive. Her team is going to be aggressive, and they unapologetic, just like she was when she was a player. So that's what they really should say. Hey, Kim Mulkey is the same way her players are. And that's what she looked for. She said she looked for feisty for players who love the game of basketball, and they are ballers. They straight up ballers. She don't want no mamby-pamby type. I don't think Aaliyah Boston. She needs to coach Aaliyah Boston because Aaliyah Boston somebody need to light a fire under her, because for her to let Iowa do her the way they did her was ridiculous, man. And Aaliyah Boston gonna have trouble in the pros because she's a little too timid under pressure, and she misses free throws at the most critical time of the game. They lost the game 2 years ago where they should have won the championship. When she had the rebound, all she had to do was put it up for the layup and win the national championship 2 years ago, and it did. And instead the ball went in and out because she rushed herself. So somebody got to light a fire under Leah Boston, because there was no way you should have went down to Iowa and allowed Iowa to beat you up like that and win that game. And because when you saw your point guard was having trouble with the shot from the outside, Leah Boston should have took that game over, and she just doesn't have it. She doesn't have the heart right now. Maybe she'll grow into going into the WNBA when the other sisters be throwing elbows just like the Iowa girls were. Maybe she'll either lose some teeth, or she'll wake up and play the game more physical and start taking over WNBA games, because she sure couldn't take over college games throughout her 4-year career. And she had Asia Wilson in front of her showing her how to get it done. So I was taken back by her non-aggressiveness in that loss to Iowa that Friday night before the losing out, because it should have been South Carolina versus LSU. It should have been a lot of teams. I thought Louisville was better too. It was just like the men's season. A lot of upsets, and that's what it should be.
Yeah, beautiful, and that is very well said. Because to me, that's what made this tournament so great. We got some star power, which we haven't had as much. And Rabbit, I haven't been watching the sport as long as you, but I've been watching it for a while now. Back to days when Candace Parker was running things at Tennessee under the late great Pat Summitt. When my girl Ivory Latta was cooking and killing it at North Carolina, to the more modern days with Skylar Diggins at Notre Dame, and of course Brittany Griner at Baylor under Kim Mulkey. But you're right, Kim Mulkey's team personified her exactly. I didn't know that about her fighting based on that game that you saw, but she's a fiery, intense, and aggressive. And if LSU gonna go out, they are gonna go out trying. And that to me is so funny how you made the parallel to Aaliyah Boston, because I'll tell you, I was a little nervous, and I was like, shoot, if we got to see our SEC South Carolina Gamecocks in the championship again, we was going to be in a little bit of trouble. So I was sad to see Dawn Staley's team not get that championship or not make it to the championship, but I was little sigh of relief, because I knew we had a chance with Iowa, because we were just more athletic and we are a way deeper team. But it's interesting what you say about Aaliyah Boston. They definitely, she doesn't come out and know that she can get a double-double against anybody. She needs to get that Angel Reese, a.k.a. unapologetically herself, the Bayou Barbie, Angel Reese. Aaliyah Boston needs that confidence. If Dawn Staley can't get it out of her, I'm a little nervous for her. But I know she's going to talk about being the #1 pick in the WNBA draft. So that should be someone gonna have to really work with her. But you hit a really great point, man. And I can't wait for next year's women's basketball season, because the target will be on our Lady Tigers back. But this is just championship season. Watch out for LSU in a bunch of sports, including track and field, gymnastics, baseball, softball, and then definitely when Jaden Daniels comes back to lead the football program. It's going to be a good time to be a Tiger. Get on the bandwagon now, Rochester and Western New York. Come on with it.
Yeah, you down there in Baton Rouge doing your thing with and enjoying. You had the parade earlier in the week. And also, you can't look at Kim Mulkey with the portal. She brought in the young lady. She brought Angel Reese in from. She was playing at Maryland. She came in from Maryland. She brought 9 players in. Morris.
9 new players in the portal, and that's the big equalizer these days.
Yeah. She brought Morris back, a player that was getting into fights there at Baylor. She kicked her off the team when she was the head coach at Baylor. The girl that learned a lesson came back more mature. brought her in, brought a whole bunch 9 players in. That speaks volumes. I mean, you bring 9 players in and you end up winning the championship with those 9 players. That tells you that LSU needed an attitude adjustment, and they got the right attitude adjustment. And man, those women balled out all season. They had tough games. I thought Tennessee I think the Tennessee Vols was a better team, but Tennessee just didn't have the heart at the end of it. I don't know how they lost to LSU. I just couldn't. I said, man, how Tennessee keep losing and they got, to me, Tennessee definitely had the better players. But the heart showed through. LSU would find a way. They would dig down deep in that last 5 minutes of that fourth quarter and find a way to come from behind and beat Tennessee Vols each time. It was amazing how that whole thing. But Tennessee won the championship, right, in the SEA.
Yeah, I was gonna say yeah. So Tennessee beat us in the SEC tournament. So we got some for Tennessee. We got some for South Carolina. Don't get it twisted, everybody. LSU was way underseeded. They only had 2 losses all year, and they lost to South Carolina. No shame in that, and it was a little disappointing. But they lost to Tennessee in the SEC quarterfinals. So we got something for them next year. Tell Iowa we'd love to bring them back. Man, all the controversy. But I want to go ahead and, like you mentioned it, Brad, man, I know we got to move it, but I want to shout out Kim Mulkey for what you said about Morris. Kicked her out. She worked with her throughout in Baylor. She had a lot of off-the-court issues. She let her go, but she said she never lost touch. Then when Morris came back and said, I get what you were saying, coach. I hear you now. Now she's back on the team. So that relationship, it just, it's real. To give somebody a second, third, fourth chance. Yeah, I'm sure, she could ball. And I love it. Put some respect on Morris's name and LSU's name, as she said after the game. But it was some trials and tribulations. And these are young adults. That's why I love working with the 18 to 22-year-olds, because we're learning. We don't hear it the first, second, third time sometimes. But Kim Mulkey was always there, always in her corner, and then gave her another opportunity. And it paid dividends for making her a champion and a better young woman. So shout out to Kim Mulkey and the entire staff for the LSU Lady Tigers.
Absolutely, absolutely. Congratulations, much success. And I was thinking that was Louisiana Tech beating Old Dominion. The Old Dominion Monarchs was dominating women's basketball in the late 70s, early 80s. And it was the Louisiana Techsters that came on, and the women team, Teresa Edwards and the point guard Kim Mulkey was doing their thing. And then over on the men's side, they had a guy by the name of Malone, Carl Malone, on the men's side of the Tech, and he was starting to get off at that time. So that school was really prominent back in the 80s. That's when I was in college. Those are the teams I was watching back in the day. So I remember Kim Mulkey, that man, and I remember I could almost name the whole starting lineup from that Louisiana Tech team that upset the Monarchs back then and dethroned them from that long run. But so she got the background. Good luck next season for LSU, and we're gonna move on to some NBA. I see we got Jay Gills. But before Jay Gills, we're going to do Miriam Rivera Insurance. We got to plug. We got to pay the cost to be the boss. Miriam Rivera Insurance Agency. Auto, home, health, and life insurance. 1038 Lyle Avenue, 511 Bean Road, Suite B. Call Erica if you're outside of Rochester. Call 585-360-0094. Hey, kids graduate from college. They probably getting a hoopty or some type of vehicle. They're going to get on the road. Go see my friend Miriam Rivera Insurance. She saved me and my family a hell of a lot of money. I guarantee you, Miriam Rivera can save you and your family a hell of a lot of money on auto, home, and life insurance. She got a cadre of not only Farmers Insurance, Progressive, and several other insurance companies that she deal with. She can find the right one that fits your family needs. Miriam Rivera Insurance Agency. Give her a call or stop on by 511 Bean Road, Suite B, or 1038 Lyle Avenue. And
and before we talk about transferring for 9 people who LSU transferred in, hey, shout out, good luck to our man Jaden Bradley coming from the 585 at Bama. He's transferring this year. He said NATO's and whatever it may be, maybe homesick. But I know they had a lot of stuff going on. He said, I got to get up out of there. So Jaden Bradley, good luck on transferring, finding your next stop.
Oh, he hasn't found it. He's looking for another team. He's in the portal.
In the portal, yep. Looking for a new spot right now.
Yeah, it's too many guns down there in Alabama, man. Good Lord, man. They down there running buck wild, man, down there. I guess he saw, and we don't even know half the story, man. We just saw what we who knows what else was going on. Because usually the case is a lot more going on than what you read in the papers and see on the news. Who knows what else was going on down there. NATO's then lost control of that program.
Hey, man.
He lost total control, man.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be shocked to see him get. They go on probation or something because once they start digging, they're gonna probably find some rule violations and some violations that he been involved, some payola. That's usually what follows in these situations when you see what's going on at the University of Alabama in Tuscaloosa. This ain't Nick Saban's program.
No, not at all.
Nick Saban, man. Nick Saban can't even help the young man out right now. So, yeah, you on your own, Nate Oates, with that situation. So, good luck to the young brother from the 585. We look for it. And once you hear it, you'll hear it right here on Real Deal Sports Show where the young man going. May even have him on the show.
No doubt, no doubt. Hey, well, now we got to turn it over and bring it to, of course, the one and only, the sports director, man. My man, Zeal Talk Upstate Finest, man. 105.5 FM sports director, Zeal Talk Upstate at gmail.com or on IG. You got to follow my man on IG. Got the dopest videos, different perspective on sports. The one and only. My man holds it always down for me. Jay Gills. What's happening, my man?
Hey, what's going on, Rochester? We got the Fanatics back, y'all. He's back. Let's get it. What's up, Rad man? How y'all doing today?
Great. Yeah, the Fanatic back from Africa and back from almost to get ready to tour the U.S. pretty soon. Man, you just living a life, Fanatic.
Hey, man, but I missed y'all. I feel like I'm always energetic. I'm extra energetic this week, man. Missed y'all. So I know let's jump in, Jay Gills. The NBA playoffs, we almost here, and I promise you, I'm going to let you lead, but I need to get this off of my chest. Let me get this off my chest, fellas. The Dallas Mavericks, if anybody talks about anybody being load management and anything like that, the players are not at fault. The Dallas Mavericks should be kicked out of the NBA, for them to just punt on the NBA season this week. They could have made the play, and let me lay it out there. The Dallas Mavericks chose to rest Kyrie Irving and 3 other starters for their game last night, and they're not going to play on Sunday either. Luka only played the first quarter because they're trying to keep the pick that they will have to ship off to the Knicks in the Kristaps Porzingis trade. So they're trying to keep this pick to make sure that they have it when they want to draft in this year's NBA draft. But they literally are a game out of Oklahoma City in the final spot in the play-in tournament. So the Dallas Mavericks, led by a wild boy, as the kids talk about, Mark Cuban, they literally punted on the season, and they should be absolutely ashamed of themselves. The NBA now has a bigger power. They want to, of course, make it individual players. It is the NBA team who had a chance to make the playoffs and said, nah, I'm good. I would rather not. Jay Gills, I'm too dang hot. Let me know your thoughts on that. What's up with the competition? What happened to trying to actually win instead of worrying about the future? Worry about the moment. Today is the gift. Tomorrow's the mystery. Today is what we're looking for. That's why we call it the present. Come on, Jay Gills. Talk to me. Am I out of line?
Fanatic, no, I gotta just put a bit of perspective to this, conversation. Just a little bit of perspective to the conversation. Now, we all know, what's been going on with Dallas. Mark Cuban, the owner of the Dallas Mavericks, he's getting a lot of heat right now with the Jalen Brunson deal, not paying him. So they got a lot of pressure going on over there. Not to mention, you did state if the Mavericks were to win that game, they had a chance to make it to the play-in tournament. However, OKC is already a game up. OKC would have had to lose tomorrow, and then not to mention they already Memphis. OKC going up against Memphis. Memphis already said they rested their starters. They're not playing. OKC, that's a clean dub. The Mavericks knew, or at least they foresaw, that they didn't have a chance. They thought OKC was going to be beating Memphis Grizzlies to get into the tournament. And I mean, what can you expect, man? What can you expect from them? They've plummeted. They went from the Western Conference Finals. As soon as Kyrie Irving got there, they lost after loss after loss. They plummeted. They needed that top 10 protected pick. You know what I'm saying? I can't fault them for that. Fault them for that. They had to do what they had to do. And I got a lot of Mavs fans really happy. I got a lot of happy Mavs fans right now.
I would talk to each and every one of them, or we need a conference call. How do you got 2 games left? You ain't asking them to say, hey, we got to play 3 more games or a whole nother month. It's 2 more games. Play the season now. Have some pride. What happened to the sense of pride to say, I'm going out on my shield and just saying we're going to play unapologetically and try and do our thing? Where's the honor in that?
Fanatic, I think head coach Jason Kidd saved us all the troubles of watching that atrocious offense with Kyrie Irving and Luka Doncic, no defense playing Dallas Mavericks. We didn't want to see them in another game. They could go.
Yeah.
Give me OKC in the tournament. Give me OKC in the tournament each and every day. They can go.
Hey, last thing on this. Why you keep bringing up Kyrie's name? Obviously, you have to, but Kyrie ain't the issue on this one. Don't blame Kyrie.
He's not the issue. They just can't play together. They can't play together. They plummeted. And I got this is a hot take. You want a hot take?
Go ahead.
You want a hot take? I got Mavs fans calling for Luka to get off the team.
Woo! Okay, well, shoot, that would be a little insane, but Luka is becoming unlikable.
He couldn't play with Brunson, and now he's having a problem with Kyrie. He got Rick Carlisle fired. Come on, man. Luka Doncic is clearly the problem in Dallas.
Yeah, it definitely seems. I think you're right on that one. They agree. They're gonna have to keep him and say you got to change. Talk about that attitude adjustment we were talking about earlier with Ken Mulkey bringing it. They need somebody to bring an attitude adjustment to him because he seems like. He's looked like that. What's the Porzingis guy? Is the one he fell out with him and they traded him, right? And now the Knicks
he's having a monster year in Washington.
Yeah,
he's leading them in points. You know, Bradley Beal's over there. That's another great scorer, but KP's leading them in points. Mm-hmm. Playing in that front court next to Kyle Kuzma. They missed the playoffs, but he's a good player. They complimented each other well over there in Dallas. Luka couldn't get it done.
Yeah. All right. Facts on facts. No argument for me there. So then, hey, talk to us here locally. Knicks and Nets in the playoffs, man. Who would have thought that, Jay Gill? What's your thoughts on the Knicks and the Nets in particular? As I shout out my man Emmanuel quickly, finally getting consistent minutes, definitely balling out. Jalen Brunson, as you mentioned earlier, definitely doing his thing, and I'm glad Julius Randle, we needed him to come back healthy. But Jay Gill's local, Knicks and Nets in the playoffs. What you thinking?
Man, first and foremost, I have to kudos to those New York Knicks. I don't think anybody saw this coming. They locked in the 5th seed. They're going to be playing the Cavs versus Donovan Mitchell. You know what I mean? It's going to be a great first-round matchup. But my mind can't help to go to the Nets. When I see the potential of the Nets at the earlier in the part of the season, you start the season with KD, with Kyrie, with Ben Simmons. I mean, you started with a great team. And not to mention, they had at one point in the season, they were the number 1 seed. I believe that if the Nets would have been able to get Ime Udoka, who right now is being considered for the Toronto Raptors job, this season would have went down totally different. I feel like the Nets could have had a championship. So even though Mikal Bridges is balling and Cam Johnson and those guys, and the Nets have locked in the 6th seed, I look at that team and I look at this season as an utter disappointment. I don't know where Nets fans go from here, but that experiment was a failed experiment. I mean, think about it. Just a couple of years ago, you had Kenny Atkinson, a respected coach, who is now an assistant coach on the Warriors, winning championships. And then you had D'Angelo Russell, who's now on the Lakers. Now they're undefeated with AD, LeBron, and D'Angelo Russell playing together. You had something going, something great going, and just to tear it all up, to have Ben Simmons not even finish this season, James Harden asking to be traded, KD, all your stars, it's just a disappointment. They got Philly in the first round, so I think that's going to be a loss. You know, but I just can't even fathom the Nets moving forward. It's unfortunate to see the Nets plummet as they did this season.
That is crazy to me, man. Crazy to me, Jay Gibbs. I missed you, and I just got, man, that's crazy. The Nets have had 3 seasons in one. They had the KD Kyrie saga, then they had the Ben Simmons saga, and now they got, oh, heaven forbid that I say this, Mikal Bridges. My man play every night, so I give him love off of that. Villanova's finest. The Nets should be proud. Yes, they about to get smacked by Philly in the first round. But to me, the Nets should be proud of being able to show that they can assemble a squad with a bunch of quote-unquote no-name players, not superstars, and for them to be 45-36 going into the last weekend of the season, they should be immensely proud of, and they should be able to figure out, okay, we got some of these players, Cam Johnson, Mikal Bridges. We just need maybe a star who's truly selfless to come in here and really help try and elevate this team to the next level. Because to me, you're right. If they get an Udoka, that would be dope. But the Nets can really compete for one of the top playoff spots if they continue to progress with the nucleus that they have here as well. That's what I think.
And this is my last thing. If I'm a Nets fan, I'm just liking it to this. It's Easter weekend, y'all. I hope everybody's going to have a great. I hope they had a good Friday. It's Easter weekend. Nets fans started this season, Hosanna, Hosanna, and they're going to end the season crucifying him. Come on, man. You had championship expectations. You had championship expectations only to be let down at the end. Come on, man. If I'm a Nets fan, I'm pissed.
That's classic, man. Classic.
That's our man Jay Gills right there. Last but not least, Jay, before we head on out, is to talk to us looking forward to next year. Any thoughts on the NBA to make all NBA team? They're having a minimum game of 65 games for next year. I thought it should be closer to 70 games. We really want to try and stop with load management, and the teams got to get on board with this. Doctors, all that stuff. But any thoughts on next year's minimum agreement from the players' unions and the board of governors about the minimum games for next year to make an all NBA team, which we know is very incentive laden in a lot of the superstars' contracts?
Absolutely, and I believe also 65 games is going to be the minimum for MVP as well, and I think that's going to make the game more competitive. Load management is a part of the league right now. It's what we're seeing, and a lot of it is for the long haul. With the play-in tournament, now you have 10 teams who don't make the playoffs. 20 teams in a 30-team league is going to be playing after the final game of the regular season. So when you talk about longevity of the game, not to mention the off season, you're starting back in October. You know what I mean? So for those champions, it's a quick turnaround. So 65 games to me is more than comparable. It's more than fair, and it gives guys like a Joel Embiid, like a Giannis, a chance to get the MVP, get these all-pro votings. So I have to give the CBA credit. More importantly, I think that I got to read a little bit more on this, but I think there's some negotiations financially that are going to be lessening up these contracts. So maybe if we can get that 65 games from everybody and get those Ironmans back in the league and everybody's to start playing again, maybe those contracts will start to go up again, but we got a long time until those new CBAs will come up. I think we got a couple more, 5 or 6 more years before that starts to kick in. So hopefully we see more competition around the league. And I have to give it kudos because now we can stop guys like Nikola Jokic going back to back with the MVPs just because he's playing every game and not playing any defense. So we got it. I'm happy about it, and I think it's going to be good for the NBA moving forward.
You know what, Jay Gills? You almost baited me there. But I'm still so mad about the Mavericks. We're going to discuss that at a later date. But, hey, Jokic deserved those 2 MVPs. And to me, hey, Embiid, if he gets it this year, cool. But I'm voting for Giannis. Number one. But again, I know we're going to have that conversation. I think the NBA players should be minimally required to play 70 games. You and I disagreeing all morning. Maybe we split the difference. Maybe it's 68 games, but it needs to be some sort of number in here because guess what, everybody? Not just NBA players, in your own everyday life, I promise you this is a fact. Availability is a skill. Being able to show up and be reliable in anything that you do absolutely is a skill. I believe that wholeheartedly. So, yeah, you need to show up and you need to play games to be considered one of the best. That's me. We know. Love you, Jay Gills. Let me make sure that people can check you out all day, twice on Sunday. I'm telling y'all, folks, the best one on IG. Zeal Talk Upstate. Check them out. Doing this thing. ZealTalkUpstate@gmail.com. Check him out if you need to email him. And that's our sports director. He holds it down. Super Bowl. He does it all. Holds it down with the rad man. Jay Gills, love you, my brother. Keep doing your thing. Proud of you. Thanks for what you do.
Love y'all, man. Appreciate you.
All right, catch you next week, and we'll see you at the PGA in about 3 weeks. We'll be out there covering Tiger Woods and the whole crew out there at Oak Hill Country Club.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. See y'all.
All right.
All
So
right.
you know we got to pay some bills, Rad man. I'm going to get it on back to you. Jack Green's Men's Shop. Hey, for folks who forgot, Easter is tomorrow. You know you got to come in cleaner than the Board of Health. Got to. Check out our man Jack Green's Men's Shop, located East Ridge Road and Hudson Street Plaza. Straight up right there in the rock on that corner. That official address, 637 East Ridge Road. Definitely your one-stop shop for great store items like prom, like different date nights, and especially coming in clean and unique on Easter. Men's and women's apparel, Jack Green's Men's Shop. Check it out in Rochester, 637 East Ridge Road. He and the family will get you clean over there.
That's right. And last but not least, Burgos income tax. Got to get your taxes done. Time is running out. If you're a procrastinator like the Rad Man is, hey, we come on and see Al Burgos and his crew up there at 1816 North Clinton Avenue. Or call them, area code outside the area, 585-266-2680. Over 30 years in business. Hey, if Al Burgos is good enough to do Rochester Products books, the accounting books for over 20 years out at Rochester Products, I know darn well he's good enough to do your books too and get your books in handy. Burgos Income Tax, 1816 North Clinton Avenue. Call 266-2680. I guarantee you those people over there on Oak Street at RES exhibition people, I wish they had Al Burgos doing their books instead of the woman they had that stole $2 million from their business. They just found out she done took $2 million, fanatic. $2 million and retired in 2019. I guess I retired too. I done stole $2 million from you and said goodbye and come to the Christmas party anyway. Hey, I done took $2 million from you. Hey, Merry Christmas to you too. Hey, RDS. Take a look at Burgos Income Tax. He does accounting. Maybe he can help you with your books and make sure your employees are not stealing $2 million from you any longer. So check out Burgos Income Tax, 1816 North Clinton Avenue, 266-2680. And last but not least, Major League Baseball is back, fanatic.
You know it. Hey, man, you know I got to start with the Yankees. I mean, I think this Yankee team is so interesting, man. It is. They're always a good team when they're at full strength. Gleyber Torres coming out hot. Our shortstop, people settle down. Volpe, our new shortstop, he is not Derek Jeter reincarnated, at least not right now. Give him some time to really get going. Garrett Cole pitching like an ace. But the Yankees, man, they got to struggle to score. They're a little bit faster, a little bit more athletics. My big disappointment is Aaron Hicks. I really thought he was going to be a really good player, switch hitter who can run, play really good defense. Just hasn't come to fruition, really just become a pull hitter. These games are going quicker. The shifts, I kind of miss the shifts because people are getting some cheaper base hits than they normally would have. I want people to actually be able to hit the ball, but hey, we're getting more base runners. No complaints there. What's up with you, Rabbit? What are you seeing?
I'm seeing a lot. Tampa Bay, once again, the Rays are 7-0. First team to go 7-0 in many years. And they do it on a shoestring budget every season. They always find good pitching. They find young talent. That Franco kid is still doing it. Azarena, he's still getting off. I mean, these are young talent that they nurtured and they drafted and they brought along homegrown throughout their farm system. It's my hat's off. They're the best organization in Major League Baseball for finding young talent on a shoestring budget. I mean, they're doing it. They're 7-0. Speaks for itself. My Toronto Blue Jays, they're working on the Sky Dome. What is Rogers Center now? The Rogers Center is obviously the name of it currently, formerly the Sky Dome. Bringing in the fences, putting in some new amenities, doing some things with the field, tinkering with the field a little bit. So the Blue Jays are on a 10-game trip. They're 5-3 on this road trip to open the season. I mean, you go 30 days in spring training, then you go 10 more days. So that's 40 days on the road for your team before you even have a home game. And they're in there with the Angels, the Los Angeles Angels. Once again, the Angels pitching is suspect. Sandoval got taken to the house by Bo Bichette last night. Mike Trout hit that thing. Man, I thought it was a shotgun blast. Man, I looked up. I was half asleep, dozing on the game last night. I looked up and said, "What was that sound?" And the guy said, "Oh, that was a blast." It was Mike Trout got all of that ball, man. That wood just smacked, man. He put it almost over the fountains out there in the outfield. So Mike Trout is off to a good year. Ohtani, they're good, but they just don't have enough pitching to compete throughout the season. And you're starting to see it already, even though they're off to a good start as well. So it's going to be a good baseball season. Andrew McCutchen, the Pittsburgh Pirates fans showed love for him coming back with the standing ovation. He almost cried there at home plate for the tremendous welcome back to Pittsburgh for Andrew McCutchen. 9 years there, and he was gone for almost for 6-7 years now. I mean, it's amazing. I saw him play against the Rochester Red Wings and knew he was a major league ball player. I mean, from some of the plays he made over here at the old Frontier Field, now Innovative Field. I mean, he made some great catches over there. And Andrew McCutchen, hats off to you and hats off to your team as well. And baseball it's going to be a good season with the 13-second pitch clock. The games are speeded up now. It
Yeah.
looks so much better. It looks so much better,
does.
so much faster. Games are getting done in a reasonable 2-hour time limit. So these games are going well. Look forward to more baseball. We're gonna have some more baseball people on. Blue Jays closer Jordan Romano right now earned 3 saves already with 0.00 ERA. Congratulations to him.
We know that won't last long. We know
No.
the Blue Jays always start on hot. They get to the summer. Next thing you know, it's some good old men's or women's adult league softball scores. 14-10, the Blue Jays winning. 13-11, they losing. So hey, we know that won't be for too long.
Exactly. And we're wrapping up here. So we look forward to more baseball, more interviews. Buffalo Bills, we're gonna get back to them. Lamar Jackson, we're gonna get back to the football as we got the NFL draft coming up in a couple of weeks, in 3 weeks. So in the next 2 weeks, we're gonna get you what our insider information on where Lamar Jackson's gonna go and what's gonna happen. Tiger Ty, welcome to Real Deal Sports Show. How you doing this morning? Tiger Ty?
He's ready to jam.
Yeah, he's a little shy. He's not a talking type cat. He does his talking with his music, and definitely he does his thing, DJing live here and around Rochester and the whole 9 yards. And Backspin, we look forward to having you back next week. So we're gonna close it out. Closing comments, Fanatic.
You know it. Hey, just real quick, Michael Harris. I love seeing the center fielder for the Atlanta Braves. They're 6-2. He just had to go to the DL. He's rocking the 23 in center field to remind me of the good old days for me as a young kid, seeing Andrew Jones in center field, patrolling, grabbing all these balls, rocking the 25. Now Michael Harris is second. Atlanta Braves outfielder, patrolling the center field in particular a lot of games. Check them out, folks. If you get a chance when they're playing the Mets, or if they happen to be playing anywhere else locally, check them out, man. Go to a game, nothing like a baseball game. Check out Michael Harris II doing it up. Hey, we don't talk a lot of hockey, but shout out to the Sabres. Y'all killing the game. We see you all. We want to pay a little hat tip, give y'all love. Sabres, keep doing it up, man. We appreciate it, and we're going to rock
a goaltender. Find a goalie, Sabres. You got to find a goalie. You got to find me and the Fanatic can't go in goal for y'all. Y'all got to find a real goalie next season. Y'all may not make the playoffs, but you got real good offense. You're doing it up. It bodes well for the future. So we'll see the Sabres next year. We'll be talking sports of all sorts next Saturday morning. Hey, happy holiday. Happy Easter.
Happy Easter.
And we'll catch you next week. Remember, check the show out on YouTube as well. YouTube, Facebook, the whole 9 yards. Y'all take care, everybody. We'll catch you next week.
Happy Easter, everybody. Great to see everybody. See y'all soon. The Bayou Bengals, the Lady Tigers. What a great day. See y'all soon. See y'all next week. Peace.